was all my fault.
Yuta, thank you for giving me more time and letting me stay by your side. During the 6 years I was cursed, I've been happier than I ever was before.
Yuta Okkotsu is not your typical shonen protagonist. He does not start out wanting to be a hero. He does not dream of becoming the strongest. When we first meet him, he is a broken 16-year-old boy who is haunted literally by the ghost of his dead childhood best friend. He is terrified of himself. He believes he is a curse on everyone around him. He wants to disappear. And yet, by the end of his story, he becomes one of only 4 special grade sorcerers in the entire world, someone even Gojo Satoru acknowledges as a potential equal. That transformation, from someone who wanted to die to someone who fights with everything to protect the people he loves, is the heart of everything Yuta represents. To understand Yuta, you have to understand Rika Orimoto. When they were children, Yuta and Rika were inseparable. She was warm, bright, and full of life, the kind of person who made everyone around her feel at ease. In their innocent way, they even promised to marry each other when they grew up. For Yuta, who was already a quiet and lonely child, Rika was everything. She was his whole world. Then one day, without warning, Rika was struck by a car and killed right in front of him. Yuta watched it happen. He could not stop it. He could not save her. And in the unbearable grief that followed, in his desperate refusal to let go of her, something happened that neither of them fully understood at the time. Rika did not pass on peacefully. Instead, she came back as a cursed spirit, bound to Yuta, unable to leave. Rika, as a cursed spirit, was terrifying. She became known in the sorcerer world as the Queen of Curses, a title that speaks to just how monstrous her power was. She was not a typical cursed spirit born from negative human emotions. She was something far more personal and far more powerful. Fueled by an attachment so deep, it defied death itself. Completely and violently devoted to Yuta would attack anyone who came near him with bad intentions. Yuta had zero control over her actions. Her power was fueled by love, not hatred, making her unique among curses. The sorcerer world's initial plan for Yuta was simple: execute him before Rika caused more damage. Yuta himself did not argue against it. He had accepted that outcome. But Gojo Satoru stepped in and offered an alternative. Gojo saw something in Yuta that Yuta could not see in himself: enormous potential and a genuine pure heart. He enrolled Yuta at Tokyo Jujutsu High with a clear deal: train, learn to coexist with Rika, become useful, and earn the right to keep living. Not pity, not fear, just a belief that he could be more than what he thought himself to be. For the first time in years, someone believed in Yuta without being afraid of him. That single shift changed everything. At Jujutsu High, Yuta meets his classmates, and for the first time in his life, he has people his age who treat him normally. Maki Zenin is blunt and demanding, pushing Yuta physically and refusing to let him wallow in self-pity. Toge Inumaki, whose cursed speech technique means he can only communicate through onigiri ingredient names, becomes one of Yuta's most genuine connections. And Panda simply welcomes Yuta without condition. These 3 do not fix Yuta, but they give him something to fight for. He stops thinking about disappearing and starts thinking about protecting the people in front of him. One of the most important parts of Yuta's arc at Jujutsu High is watching him go from someone who runs from his power to someone who begins, slowly, to wield it. His cursed energy reserves are enormous, on a scale that puts him alongside the very top of the sorcerer world, even before he develops any real technique. But raw power means nothing without control, and Yuta spends his early months just learning to not be a disaster. He trains with Maki in hand-to-hand combat. He copies Toga's cursed speech and learns to use it. He goes on missions and faces real curses for the first time. Each experience chips away at his belief that he is only destruction. He starts to see that his power, in the right hands, his hands can mean protection instead of harm. The main antagonist of JJK0 is Suguru Geto, a former Jujutsu High student who went down a dark ideological path and came to believe that sorcerers are a superior species who should not have to protect ordinary humans. His plan, called the Night Parade of 100 Demons, involves releasing over 1,000 cursed spirits simultaneously across 2 major Japanese cities on New Year's Eve. He also wants Rika recognizing that her power could be decisive in his war. When Yuta's friends are put in real danger when he sees Toge collapse, when he sees how far Maki pushes herself, something breaks open inside him. The fear that defined him since Rika's death does not disappear, but it is overridden by something stronger. He stops holding back. He fully releases Rika for the first time, voluntarily, with intention. The power that emerges is on a completely different level. Rika manifests completely not as a half-restrained force, but as her full self, and together, Yuta and Rika overwhelm Geto entirely. In the middle of this fight, Yuta asks Rika how to say "I love you" in their language. She answers, and that answer tells him and us that she is still truly herself inside the curse. She was never just a monster. She was always still Rika. After the battle, the truth that reframes everything is revealed. Yuta spent years believing that he had cursed Rika, that his grief and his refusal to let her go had trapped her soul and turned her into a monster. He carried that guilt like a sentence. But the truth is the opposite. Rika cursed herself. Her love for Yuta was so overwhelming, so absolute, that when she died, she refused to fully leave. She bound herself to him of her own will. The curse was not something Yuta did to her. It was something she chose, because she could not bear to abandon him alone in his grief. This revelation finally, truly frees Yuta from the idea that he is a monster at his core. He never was. After Rika passes on, Yuta retains a significant portion of her cursed energy, which he now carries within himself, but his actual innate ability, the thing that is uniquely his, is copying. Yuta can replicate cursed techniques he has come into contact with, including inherited techniques that are supposed to be exclusive to specific bloodlines. Combined with his enormous cursed energy reserves, this makes him extraordinarily versatile. He adapts, he compounds. He becomes harder to predict and harder to counter with every fight he is in. Yuta's domain expansion is called True and Mutual Love. Inside his domain, he can use every single copied technique simultaneously without any restriction. Most fighters have one domain ability. Yuta has every technique he has ever copied, all available at once. It is one of the most overwhelming domains in the series, not because it hits in one direction, but because it gives him infinite options. Yuta's entire story asks one question. Is holding on to someone you love, refusing to let them go even after they are gone, actually love? Or is it a prison you build for both of you? Rika's curse came from love that could not release. Yuta's guilt came from love that blamed itself. The story's answer is that real love sometimes means letting go. It means choosing to live fully, even after loss. Yuta learns that the truest way to honor Rika is to do exactly what she asked in her final goodbye, to live a life full of love, not just survive, actually live. In the middle of chaos, Yuta was sent into the Sendai colony. There, he faced powerful sorcerers, including Ryu Ishigori and Takako Uro. This wasn't just a fight. It was a battlefield where everyone was a monster. But Yuta, he stood alone. And instead of just surviving, he dominated. He fought multiple high-level opponents at once, used his copy abilities to their fullest, and even manifested Rika once again. And in the final clash, it was raw power against raw power. Then came a moment no one expected. An order was given, execute Yuji Itadori, and Yuta was chosen to do it. They fought. It was intense. It was emotional. And then Yuta killed Yuji. Or at least, that's what it looked like. Because this wasn't the end. It was a plan. Using reverse curse technique, Yuta brought him back. And in that moment, he proved he wasn't just strong. He still had a heart. Behind all the chaos, there is a mastermind. Kenjaku. Every fight, every sacrifice has been leading to him. And Yuta is one of the very few who can stand against him. Because the true monster of this story is Sukuna, the king of curses. And if the world is going to be saved, someone has to face him. And maybe that someone is Yuta.